Good morning. Welcome back to the Pastor's Study. I hope you're having a good Monday so far, and this week is one that's filled with blessing and promise. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about some things that I remember from when I was growing up. Reminiscing a bit, if you will. I have distinct memories of in the 80s and 90s, there was almost a sense of urgent madness and concern about satanic cults. There was talk of child sacrifice and children being born in secrecy for the purpose of sacrifice. All kinds of stories about cults being in small towns or larger cities, and terrible things being done. Ritual abuse of children in daycares. There was all sorts of stuff floating around. In fact, one of the first seminars I attended as a minister was done by, I don't remember who did it, but it was all on the concerns around satanic cults and ritual abuse. And it was easy in those days to see a demon behind everything. Frank Peretti's books were selling very big, and people were quoting them almost as if they were scripture, and they became a common touchstone for what was going wrong in our cities, in our towns, in our schools. And it was easy to step into that world and lay blame on those who actually weren't doing anything, and assume that these problems were nefarious in their origin. But what came to pass wasn't most of it was a hoax or paranoia. Nothing came of it. There were deliverance ministries, there were recovered memories, and when all the smoke cleared, what was it? Nothing but hysteria. I don't know how those things start, I really don't. But my concern in the present is that we pay attention to what's going on around us. Just on Saturday, there was a shooting at a synagogue in Pittsburgh. And again, it wasn't a minority, wasn't an immigrant, it was a white man. And it would be easy to lay blame on all sorts of other groups. But the reality is, it was a white man. Now think about that for a minute. Think about what takes place in our country that allows things like this to happen. A person filled with hate takes up weapons and kills people. It is wrong. It is diabolic. It is evil. But there's not a demon behind it. It's a person filled with hate and rage. I suspect there were those who knew this man who may have had inclinations about what he was going to do and said nothing. It would be easy to assume now that there are many angry white men who want to kill people, be they Jewish, Muslim, or black, or Hispanic, or Indian, or whatever happens to be the current rage. If we allow this to be unchecked, we contribute to the problem. So we need to express concern and love. And we need to be willing to say, here's a problem, and this is what I'm going to do about it. It's all too easy to push the blame onto someone else and say, well, it wasn't my fault. It was some neo-Nazi group. It was some anti-Semitic group. It was somebody else. But as long as we allow hatred to go unchecked in our presence, we contribute. Jesus never said hate your enemies. Jesus said love your enemies and love your neighbors. So that means if someone is telling racial jokes, we need to stand up and say no. If someone is expressing hate, we need to say no. And if we know something that's happening that will cause others to be hurt, we need to act, at the very least, by calling the police. Do something. Love your neighbors. Make a difference because you can. Peace.